Guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about how to make $1,000 per month with digital real estate. This is part 6, and we are going to be talking about the setup, which is how to eliminate objections before they come up. A lot of times in sales, people talk about overcoming objections. I think that when you wait to overcome objections, that means that you've waited for the objection to come, and now you're on defense. And we're going to be talking about how to actually eliminate the objection before it even becomes an objection. So we got Francesca on the call today. Francesca, welcome to the call. How you doing?
Good.
Tuning in from where? Let everyone know.
Northern Italy.
Northern Italy. Great. I'm in Dubai. She's in Northern Italy, and we're a long way from Utah, and it couldn't feel better because apparently it's like snowing in Utah. So we're winning, and it's probably snowing in Italy.
Wow. No, it's kind of warm today, but
Amazing. Amazing. But it's a little chilly. Well, it's hot here.
yes.
Point is, it's the laptop lifestyle. You can work from Italy. I can work from Dubai. We can work on the plane. We can do whatever we want. So anyway, for those of you that do not even know what we're talking about, this is the business model where we call it rank and rent. You build a simple website, you rank it on Google, you rent it out, and you make money. That's it. Super, super simple. We've been doing this for a long time. Francesca, how long have you been working with me? Since what, 2019? Uh-oh, Francesca's you there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, since 2019. So she's been working with me 5 years. And if you haven't watched the previous parts to this series, we're taking you through a deal A to Z. We're taking you through all of our different steps. So now we're going to be talking about the setup. On the last video, we talked about sending the leads. So just to catch you up, let's say that we found the business owner. Well, obviously we got leads coming in. We picked the city and the niche. We built the list. We set up the ads. We got leads coming in. We got the business owner to say yes to taking some free leads. We're sending the leads to the business owner, and now we're in the setup. This is that little time between hooking the business owner and closing the business owner. So Francesca, what are some of the things that we need to remember during the setup? What are some of the best practices, things that you do? By the way, just to give Francesca a little credibility, she just landed a monster $7,500 per month deal about, what, 10 days ago. You could see a smile on her face. She's stoked about it. Tell us about what some things, some best practices, people that are, trying to get that first deal. What should they expect before they actually get on the Zoom call? What are some of the things that they should do?
Yeah, I pretty much give the business owner, I screen record a little video on my end, kind of what we're doing right now, and I send it over to him. And I go over every single detail of the deal that you're going to do with them, except for pricing.
Okay.
So by the time you get on the call with them, they already know pretty much everything that you plan on doing, except for how much it is that it costs.
What are some of the things that some of the points you try to really hit on?
Yeah, I would say how you structure your deal. So you can say, well, I don't do like pay per lead, for example. I only do like flat fee deals. So they pay you monthly, you know exactly how much, you're going to get. And there is a way to say that as well. I don't know if you want to let that figure it out.
Yeah, there's a good way to say that, and there's a wrong way. If you just say, hey, I don't do pay-per-lead deals, bro, that's going to come off a very not correct, and people are going to get a little bit weird. How would you say that, just as an example?
Yeah, you want to put it like it's an advantage to them as well. So you want to say, well, if we do pay per lead, in the summer when things are risky and they get very exciting, then the check is going to be high because you're going to get all these jobs. Instead of doing that, we do just a flat fee deal. So every month what your budget is. And if we send you, 50 leads, you're still paying the same. It's not going to charge you more. And then when it slows down in the winter, you're not all worried. It kind of balances out throughout the year.
Correct. So guys, this is something that we kind of stumbled upon when we first started like doing flat fee deals. When we started trying to hone in our process, we actually weren't even doing this part that she's talking about. And so there's basically, in general, what you need to remember, guys, is during this period of time from when you call the business owner to when you get on the Zoom call, you want to eliminate every single potential objection that's going to come up. And so from somebody that's done this a lot, here's some of the objections you're going to get. Okay. And what I would recommend you doing is getting a piece of paper, getting a little pen, and writing, what are the objections that might come up? Well, price. They might complain about price. They might complain about contract. They might say they need to talk to their partner or their spouse, or I don't mean to be sacrilegious, but I've heard people say they want to pray about it, talk to Jesus. That could be something that comes up. I've heard people say, what are some of the other ridiculous things you've heard people say? Um, just in
Um,
general, I want to think about it.
yeah, they also ask if you do not, this may sound silly, but if you do not send them how the leads come in, they often have that as well. Like, well, how does this work? Is it gonna like hurt my own website? Is it gonna, they have that question also.
Fair. Okay. And then also one other big one, this is, I would say the biggest one is trust. And a lot of times when they say they want to think about it, they really are saying, I don't trust you. And they won't come out and say, I don't trust you. They just are saying, I'm not willing to give you my money in exchange for your service because I don't trust that you can deliver on what you're saying. And so the reason, guys, we do all that stuff that we do is if you can eliminate the objection of trust, you can pretty much get anyone, right? And so all the things that we're doing, we're trying to eliminate the trust objection, right? When we're sending leads to a business owner, that is gaining their trust. And so all these little tiny things, right? When we're showing them examples of other businesses that we've worked with, right? That is showing them, oh, this person's working with other companies. When we're name dropping, we're doing these things. And guys, yes, I like Francesca said, I try to cover as many of those objections on the call, the screen recording before the call as possible. But also, I try to eliminate those in our conversations. When I send over a lead and then we have that 2 minutes to talk, I'm going to drop something like, if they ask a question like, hey, so, you know, how consistent is this, right? Or whatever the case is. I'm gonna be like, well, it's a good question. So, and I'll, instead of answering it, I'll say, Joe down the street, Joe, the guy I was telling you about that we're working with in St. George that we've been working with since 2020. Remember him? He's a duck cleaner, just like you. Yeah. Okay. Joe had the exact same question. And here's what happened. So I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking at my list. How can I overcome these objections, right? So here's one more example. Something that's very difficult to overcome is when you get on a call. Francesca, tell me how hard this is. You get on a call, you go through the whole thing, you try to go for the close, and then they say, well, I need to talk to my business partner, my spouse, my brother, my dad. How hard is that to get them to move after they say that?
I mean, that really cuts your legs because there's nothing you can say that all they're going to say back is, well, I agree, I like it, but I can't decide on it. Like, I can't do it without consulting. So there's nothing at that point, there's really nothing you can do.
It's tough. It's
You
tough.
could.
Yeah, you have to get really like, I mean, there technically there's some things you can say, but it's very difficult, and that's why I say if you wait for the objection to come, now you're overcoming objections. But instead, if you attack it and you eliminate the objection up front, it doesn't come up. So what do? We get on the call and we let them know in a very calm and logical way. Hey, just so you know, we have other people that we're talking to. We would like to work with you because we've already sent you these leads and we like this and this about you. However, just out of respect, all we ask is that at the end of the call, if this makes sense, let's do a deal, let's move forward, let's start making money. If not, just let us know so we can move on. So all we ask at the end of the call, you give us a yes, no. Cool. And by the way, so that's how we get them to like, okay, you're going to give us a decision. And then we'll say, if there's anybody else that needs to be on this call, spouse, whatever decision maker, please just make sure they're on the call, because what ends up happening, sir, and this isn't me talking to the business owner, unless I can do this, but this is usually on the screencast. As I'll say, what ends up happening is I'm going to tell you, then you're going to go to your wife or you're going to go to your husband and you're going to tell them about 60% or 30% of what I told you. And we're playing this game of telephone. You guys know the game telephone, where you whisper in the ear and then you whisper in the ear and you whisper in the ear by 4 people down. It doesn't even sound the same. We're going to be playing a game of telephone, and all that they're going to hear is the price. And it's really not a good representation of what we talked about. So all we ask, get that person on the phone. If they can't get on the phone, then we need to reschedule, just to be very transparent with you, because we really want to make sure this is a good fit. And if it's not, we're going to move on. Okay. And you should too. If you say something like that took me like 30 seconds, that will eliminate everything. Then you get on the call and their spouse is there, their partner's there, or you get to the end of it and they start pulling that BS. You're like, hey, I sent you the video. You told me you watched it. I was very clear that we need a decision because we have other people waiting. So if you're a maybe right now, then that's a no for me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to move on. And that just completely takes control back, and boom, you're in a good position. So, but if you don't say that, Francesca, you've been in that case, oh my gosh, I forgot. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, this sounds good. Let me just run it by my business partner and I'll let you know. Like, you're like, no, 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 right? But if you don't say that, what do you? It's hard to respond, right? No, you can't talk to them. You know, it's like it's really, really difficult. So anyway, any other things you want to add to that, Francesca? It's very this is guys, this is where the deal is closed. Everyone thinks you closed the deal on the call, but Francesca, you can tell me this. That deal you just got, the $7,500 a month one, when you got on the Zoom call, did you have to do anything besides basically talk price?
No, I would say the only thing is really just make sure you write down all the objections you want to preface in that video. And then if something usually doesn't go smoothly, it's because you probably missed one of those.
100%.
Most of the time.
And everyone gets on they don't get the deal. They're like, oh my gosh, I gotta work on my closing. It's like, no, you need to work on your setup. You need to work on eliminate. I know everyone talks about overcoming objections. Guys, let's get this out of our heads. Overcoming means now there's a thing. I don't even want there to be a thing. I want there to be no thing. I want to get on the call and I want to be like, hey, it's $1,500 a month. I showed you on the lead. By the way, how do we overcome a price objection, Francesca? We show them the lead value calculator on the screencast. And even though we don't say price, we have them price anchored so high in their minds, they might think it's $5,000 a month because we haven't oversold it, but we've made it such a valuable service and showed them, hey, you know, like in their heads, we talk about these big numbers. And so we eliminate price because we price anchor high on the call. I don't even know the last time I've got price. Like I can't even remember the last time somebody complained about price.
I can, but yeah,
Wow.
it
Yeah.
definitely, no, I know.
It happens. But for me, like when I was running these calls back in 2020, 2021, all of them, it wasn't something I got because I would do a really good job when I was showing the lead value calculator. They're like, they would think when I was about to drop price, I was going to say 3,000, I would say 1,200. And it was like, okay, that sounds fair, right? So anyway, guys, this is the setup. This is where the magic happens. The next step is going to be the actual close. There are some things we want to talk about, some things we want to cover, but this is just some stuff that you guys should know that if you do that screencast and you focus on eliminating those objections up front, that last call is going to be a piece of cake. By the way, for those of you that are like, what needs to be included in that video? We have a couple examples of that video inside of our free Facebook group, the Art of Dre, ARTOFDRE.com, Art of Dre. That's our Facebook group, also in the Discord channel. And you guys, if you're not in there already, you guys should check this out. With that said, Francesca, we'll see you on the next video, part 7, closing the freaking deal and riding that puppy all the way to the bank. See you guys next video.
Yeah.